All right, welcome back everybody to What I Wish You Knew About Your Wedding. And I have a very special episode that I'm very interested in because I've never seen a whole lot of content on this ever delivered in this way. And we are doing everything charcuterie. And I have Kalana from Made by K, and I have Eric, her husband, and they are a husband-wife team. It seems like, right, guys? Yeah,
Absolutely.
He's got the logo.
Yeah.
We have a little sample of the work here. It's amazing. We'll have you talk about that in a little bit. You can tell us about it. But for right now, tell us about, you and your business and the passion you have for this. And, I've seen your social media. It's very interesting. You show a lot, and it's really cool that, how much you share. But let's tell everybody about your charcuterie business, your experience, and like a little bit about why you got into it.
Yeah, of course. Hi, my name is Kalana. I'm the owner of Made by K, and I've been in business for about 3 years, but it's been overwhelmingly growing. I've been flown out of state to do charcuterie. I've been a part of fundraisers with schools, and I love doing charcuterie spreads, boards, and boxes. And my husband is a huge cheerleader and also everything I need. He's the muscle of the team.
There we go.
So yeah, just super thankful.
Absolutely.
But I started Made by K because I love the idea of charcuterie and how it just brings people together. And it's another art form, but with food. And like, I can't draw for the life of me, but I could make a salami rose if you want
that's
me
awesome.
to.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I started it way back. I hosted a Friendsgiving, and one of my friends saw my charcuterie board, and she's like, "You need to make a business out of this."
This is how it starts.
And I was like, okay, I'll see. I'll start posting things online on my Instagram, which is _Made by K, and on my TikTok. And I started getting attention. I was like, okay, well, here I go. And I did a rehearsal dinner, but they wanted a charcuterie board and a charcuterie spread. And I did like a 6-foot table.
6 feet.
Yeah, of charcuterie.
It's a lot of charcuterie.
It's a lot of food.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of food, but it was so much fun. And then from there, I got people asking me to do fun themed spreads. Like I did a baby shower. I did a race car themed.
Race car theme.
Yeah, I did.
So when we say race car theme,
yeah.
like was it like the board was like race car, like were you putting like Hot Wheels and stuff on it? Like,
no.
We did have cars. However, but for a majority of it,
everything was edible on that spread.
everything was edible, and it was themed. It was essentially a race track. So the stands were
really
food.
Yes.
The race track, like the fans. It was all food. Everything was available there. It had the curves that were made with cheeses.
Okay, so if you guys have photos, I'll edit it into this.
Yeah,
you guys,
of course.
and so
I'll send you some photos.
I'll do we'll do a picture in picture, and we're going to show people what that looked like, because I can't see, my mind doesn't work like that. My wife, she can envision these types of things too, but like not me. It's like I have to see it because
no, of course I would love. I'll definitely send them over. Along, I did a dinosaur themed spread as well. So yeah, whatever theme you throw at me.
I didn't even, to be honest, I've seen charcuterie. I didn't even know you could theme it. Like I'd like. That's not something would ever cross my mind, like to put like a theme into the board or the grazing table.
It's really fun because it's funny because charcuterie originated from France, and it was just a nice arrangement of meats. Yeah. And then every country decided to like hop on this board, and I think America, we do what we do, and we Americanized it. And now charcuterie could be anything from doing like just meats and cheeses and fruits to we're going to do a dessert spread, or we're going to do a breakfast spread, and just whatever idea. But if you arrange it in an art form, it is considered charcuterie, in some shape or form. Yeah.
See, this is why I love doing this, because it's like everybody just comes in and blows my mind, because I'm like, oh my God, like it's like, and I stress it so much, like everybody thinks like things are so simple, they seem so surface level, but it's like, no, we're already like just barely a couple minutes into this, and it's like, and like you got my mind working, like I didn't, I hadn't considered all these things that you're throwing out there. That's cool. Is there anything else like, and just because we're there, is there anything else worth mentioning, like special like charcuteries you've done? Like was there any more? Or is like, those are like the really fun, like the most memorable ones
off the top of my head were just some themes that were thrown at me was like a race car theme. They're like, hey, do you think you could do this? I'm like, yes.
Oh,
I got
so
you.
cool.
This sounds like fun.
So, it would never cross my mind if I was asking for a charcuterie to ask someone to theme it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
we just did one for Oktoberfest. Anybody Germans, like, I mean, we did mustards and all kinds of different items that would, like, pretzels.
Yeah, that client is a reoccurring client. She comes to me every Oktoberfest. She's like, I'll see you next year.
Wow.
So it's
That's
so
cool.
fun because Oktoberfest, it's about like celebrating, the harvest and stuff. So we not only have fruits, we have vegetables as well, and different types of assortments of dips.
This is amazing.
And it's always a fun time.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's setting a good stage for everything, because we're gonna dive deeper and ask you all the questions about charcuterie.
Yeah.
Because it's not that it hasn't been popular, but I feel like it's getting more and more popular. I think it's replacing traditional appetizers.
Yes.
I think aesthetically it looks so nice. And it's just something different. I think it's different. I mean, I know it's been around, but it's becoming definitely, I've seeing it a lot more. So let's get into some questions that people might be curious about. And then of course we are approaching this from more sense of like wedding oriented. So these are gonna be more like wedding oriented questions for you. Of course. And we'll talk about in that sense, but feel free to, like, all these little things you're throwing in, please feel free to, like, if you can draw from other experiences, that's great, because it's really interesting. I think just off the bat, and this is, I would have no idea about this, but I'm sure you'll have some details, but what do you think the main difference is if I'm hiring you for like a party and I'm having 15, 20 people and we're going to do charcuterie versus, hey, I want you to do my wedding. I'm going to have approximately 100 guests.
Yeah.
What, from your side, perspective wise, like what is the difference in the way, either the way it's done, is it how much it costs to do it? Is it, like what changes from a party? Is it pricing? Like what kind of separates wedding charcuterie from just like standard, like a party?
I honestly believe it's all in how it's prepped and set up, because a wedding charcuterie, it becomes part of your wedding and it's part of your decoration. So oftentimes when I have brides asking like, hey, can you do a charcuterie spread? Or I often ask like, yeah, of course. What is your vision? Like, what is your vision of charcuterie? Because I think everyone has a different mindset. And sometimes I get asked to do like charcuterie centerpieces for a wedding.
Charcuterie centerpiece.
Yes, charcuterie centerpieces. And
we're getting deep.
That was really fun. And
that sounds amazing.
It's a great idea and something I would honestly recommend people to do if they're kind of iffy of just like, hey, we don't exactly have a cocktail hour area, but we want to give people appetizers. A charcuterie centerpiece. It's gorgeous, and
never seen that.
Throw a couple lead vases in the middle and then put charcuterie around it. It's a gorgeous setting, and it's another decoration in itself. And same with a charcuterie spread. It becomes, again, a part of the wedding. It's part of the decor. So I make sure to ask like, what are the colors? What's your do you have a theme? Or I want to stay true to your wedding, because if it's about you at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And so I just want to add your personality into my presentation and make sure that your cheeses, your cheese preferences, or if you're allergic to something, I want to be aware. And just that attention to detail makes a difference. Whereas like at a party, you really don't. You don't have to worry about so much.
We're talking aesthetics and theme and like and vision, and then also now it's like you said, like I would agree with you that when we talk about many things in the wedding vendor industry, it's like, for instance, like a dessert table, like just in people's minds, that could be different to everybody. Like, so it's important to ask that. That's a great thing you're presenting, is to ask like, well, what do you think imagine that looks like? Or, like what do you envision? And
100%.
And how, and the way you're saying how you actually, you're not just going like, okay, how many people,
Yeah.
You're going deeper than that sense of like matching the theme, the aesthetics. No, that's interesting, because for a party, you could probably just deliver, you could deliver a board or something, right?
Yes,
and like drop it off and you're good. But this is going to be way different. in that sense.
It's a whole different notch.
Yeah.
It also comes with setting it up too, because there are different locations that you can set up at a wedding. Like centerpieces are easier because it's the center of the table.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to be sitting at that table.
Yeah.
Whereas there's also ones that's like, okay, so we know that the food is catered, but they're all going to be walking right past this area. Let's try to set it up here.
Yeah.
Making sure that it's accessible and that it's where someone can see it and be at it is another thing that changes the difference of just doing a platter where like you hand them the box or you hand them the board. This one you have to make sure that, hey, this is essentially its own its own part of the wedding. As you pass by, oh, I'm a little hungry.
So like the logistics of it, like the logistics of where to set up and how.
Or their intention. That's another question. Like, what is your vision of the charcuterie? Like, what is it for cocktail hour, or is it for you and your bridesmaids while you're getting ready? Are you wanting like a little spread that you guys could pick on, some light cheeses, some fruits?
Or is it pre-ceremony? Or is it, what are we doing? Like, are we doing a champagne welcome and some charcuterie type thing?
Yes. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
So it kind of helps set the tone of the wedding as well.
And then, so, it sounds like when people do that, because if I would have called you and been like, hey, like, it's like, you probably hit people with all these questions, right? And then are they usually like I am right now, like surprised? Like, are they surprised that you have so many questions? Like that it's not some simple thing, like
some simple thing, like a simple questionnaire. Oftentimes, I know other people do it differently, but for me, I like to establish a personal connection with the bride and groom that I work with. I feel like that's important because if I get to know you, then I get to have that confidence in building that spread for you.
Yeah.
And also I get to know like your preferences, or if you have an uncle that's allergic to whatever, I could set aside a different, like if you're something else, or like if you have someone who's gluten intolerant, I need to be aware of that. So that way, like, because charcuterie is meant to gather people.
Yeah.
I don't want, not anyone to be able to enjoy something.
Right. Someone to feel left out or they can't enjoy it. Like this beautiful thing. Cause it does, charcuterie always looks so nice. So,
yeah.
All right. And then what kind of like, would you say that there's a type of, is there a standard like type of couple that's usually coming to you? Is it usually couples that are more concerned with like the aesthetics of the way things look, or is it just a myriad like of couples, or like in general, like is the couples that come to you for charcuterie, is there a something you see in them, like in those couples are asking for it that's pretty common that they have in common?
It varies, honestly, but I will say they have the love for cheese. You have to have a love for cheese of some sort of cheese and meats, and just have an understanding of what charcuterie is and does.
Okay.
But I've also had couples who are just like, hey, I heard from my cousin that this was a good idea and I would like to have it for my cocktail hour, or can you do charcuterie cups or something? And, I am open and I ask them questions and make sure that, they kind of have an idea of what it is. And, but yeah, it's definitely a mix of people.
A mix of people. But one common thing would be just people that have like, are just like on their own are already into like cheeses and meats and like enjoy that stuff.
And I think also just want something to aesthetically wow the guests, but also being able to go hand in hand with wowing your guests, but also being able to feed your guests.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's hard to find like that. I mean, besides your wedding cake, of course, it's hard to be like, okay, we could wow our guests with a great DJ, but what else?
What else? Yeah. How else can we give them something to experience? And it's like, it's not just food. It's also an experience, like you're saying.
Yeah. An experience and decor.
Getting people to gather and, like gathering, no, that's all. Yeah. That all makes sense. What would be some of the most popular charcuterie options or board styles, or I don't even know if I'm using the right terminology or if that question makes enough sense, but what are most people doing? Like, is it the boards? Is it grazing? You said 6 feet. Like, is it
grazing tables
for weddings? Okay. It's grazing
tables.
How are they, is it always 6 feet, or is it like, does it vary?
How I do things, I have 3 different tiers of because with my business and also being a previous bride, we
Yeah,
have
yeah,
been on your show.
yeah.
I believe that every person deserves a beautiful wedding. So each tier I offer, different sizing for
Okay.
a grazing table, probably 3 to 4 cheeses with like the first tier, second tier, the cheeses increases along with the sides and
Okay.
stuff like that.
I understand.
So
Yeah.
that way, and also it's very customizable for me. Like I want to, that's why it's very important for me to get to know the bride
Yeah.
or bride and groom. So that way I could build something that, they could look back and be like, wow, that was gorgeous. And our guests loved it. And I also include like a little to-go box because again,
Yeah.
not everyone. I have
we
like
have
a
little boxes. Yeah.
like little boxes so that
Yeah.
because, sometimes you don't get to eat or get to experience that. So
Mhm.
I try to include like little bits of the flavors that I included in your grazing table. So you have
Okay.
something to take
That's
on your
nice.
honeymoon or for the drive home.
Yeah. That's
So-
really sweet. That's really nice. Yeah. So let's go deeper into that. So it sounds
Yeah.
like so if I came to you
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, hey, I'd love a 6-foot table.
Mm-hmm.
What you're telling me is that like, so it's not just like you only have just like this one option. You have tiers, meaning if someone's more on a budget, like
Mhm.
they're not sacrificing aesthetics.
Yeah.
You're just changing the cost of it's like the food costs, right?
Yes.
So you can help people out. You could still give people, because I this is what I think with your work that I've
Yeah.
seen. Aesthetically, it's going to look just as good.
Yes.
Every tier is going to look amazing.
Yes.
So the only really thing that's changing, it's not even quality, it's just the cost. It's like
Yes.
how expensive the meats and cheeses are. Is that
Mhm.
right?
And the variations, I will say, like there's different tiers. For example, like my first tier will have like 4 to 5 cheeses, and I'll have more fillers per se than cheeses, if that makes
Is it like
sense.
grapes and
So grapes and
Okay.
dips,
Okay.
to something that I could give you that aesthetic of like wowing your guests,
yeah.
but also having those like cheeses and meats without breaking bank for
Yeah.
you. And also, still factoring like my work ethic
Yeah.
and
No, yeah.
everything. So
Labor,
it's, like,
work, yeah, it's the
labor
word,
and
yeah,
everything
yeah.
and delivery. So, and then my second tier will have like 5 to 7 cheeses, and we could just like work from there and just,
Okay.
or different experience. Like if you want more, if you want to add vegetables, it's like, again, customizable. It's just,
Yeah, it's customizable.
I just focus in on just the most expensive, which is cheeses and meats. That's like going to be
Yeah.
the most expensive in your spreads.
Yeah. No, that's it's nice that you have like, it's nice that you, because like you said, you just recently got married and
Mhm.
were a bride yourself, and you definitely have that understanding of like it's nice when a vendor can have options,
Mm-hmm.
but again, you're still getting a great experience without,
Yeah,
with like,
definitely.
it's still good. It's still going to be visually amazing, aesthetically pleasing.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's still going to be plenty of food, but it's not going to break the bank in that sense if they're on a tighter budget. So
Yeah.
it's cool that you have these options,
Mm-hmm.
because it again, not something I would ever think about, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
Because not every vendor can do that, but
Mhm.
it's nice that you already have that built in. So if
Mhm.
people really do want that big table,
Mm-hmm.
then you have like, different options.
Yeah.
That's
But I would
nice.
also recommend, again, if they decide to go with the first tier, which is like more like budget friendly, I would recommend like maybe making it a little bit of smaller, so it could just, like still have that wow. You'll still have plenty of food, but just like
It'll look.
it'll look
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
The goal is to always try to fill out the space that we're given.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so if you give us a large space, we are going to fill it out.
Yeah.
We'll just have to use extra
We'll be
fillers
creative.
and whatnot and be
Yeah.
creative
Yeah.
with making
Yeah.
sure that space is, and that's where having a theme can help, because there are times where we can add little pieces in, little items in that will help grow
And
that
fill it and
theme
make it look.
fill in that area
Yeah.
as well to help with the budget.
And oftentimes I will ask if they'll have a florist or something, if they want
So
to
you add
include
floral in there,
florals.
which would
Yeah.
take up some space.
Yeah, exactly. Or if they want me to include some edible florals like in their
Yeah.
in their arrangement, so that the presentation can still like, whoa, this
Mhm.
is amazing and beautiful. but also that the colors that I use don't clash with
Yeah.
what the florist
Right.
is
Yeah.
using.
No.
So
Yeah, I feel that.
if
No.
that's why I asked.
Special considerations.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, so we're already kind of there, but
Mhm.
how do you help couples? How do you help couples decide that, like, is it strictly by guest count, or are there other factors that help you determine, like, because I would have no clue, like,
Yeah.
how much I need, like, and you don't give away all your secrets, but is there special questions you ask to help them determine how, like
What you would need.
like, does someone come to you and be like, yeah, I need a 6-foot table, and then when you start asking questions, maybe you're like, hey, I don't really think you need that?
I would ask guest count, and also is a big factor, because the more people you have, the more mouths you have to
Right.
feed.
Guest
And then
count, of course.
also, like, when are you having me come? Like, is this for cocktail hour? Is this for, while people are dancing, something to nibble on as
Okay.
like a
As a late night,
like
a late night
snack
Yeah.
or something? So that way I could help them save some money in the end, and being like, hey, maybe you do need a 6-foot table.
Yeah.
I know you thought you wanted a smaller table, but if you're having me for cocktail hour before everyone has eaten, I highly
Gone.
recommend.
Yeah.
It's going to be gone.
Done.
Like
The hungrier
Destroyed.
the guests
the
are,
the
more
hungrier
take
the
care of
guests, the
that.
more food is
Yeah.
going to be required. And I'm the type of person, personally, I would rather have more than less. Always when it comes to feeding your guests.
Yeah.
So I ask, guest count. I also ask, like, hey, if you're only having 20 people for your wedding, maybe you could opt for the option of doing charcuterie boards and saving a little money there.
Yeah.
Instead of doing a huge spread.
A big spread.
But I could do some nice charcuterie boards for you guys.
Mhm.
But if you're having like a large wedding, I would recommend separating that spread and doing 2 like long tables.
2, yeah.
So that way you could have, everyone could have that experience, and not everyone's just like huddled over.
Right. Yeah. Because when you get so many people, then it's like people like standing behind people, like hovering over people, like waiting for Uncle Bob to decide
And
which
there's always,
cracker he wants.
always that one person who stands by the table a little too long, and has 2 or 3 plates before he walks away.
Yeah.
So
No, that's cool, because I feel like, again, a lot of these things are just, and we're learning right now, they're not always so simple. So there are deciding factors that help people decide, and like you said, it's not like, you're not one to oversell someone. You're gonna make sure that they're just getting the services that they need. I mean, of course, if they still say no, like, you're gonna obviously you're gonna do it, but like, at least that's nice that you help people like really determine what's the best fit versus, just doing it to get the money, or to take the,
no, definitely. I love gathering, and like, that's why I started my business. Is the goal is to gather people together and have a great time.
Yeah.
And with all my work, that's what I hope to do. I put my heart into it, and I just want people to enjoy themselves at the end of the day, or have that like ratatouille experience. With meats and cheese, or fruit, or just experience combinations that they wouldn't think to put together before, in the past. But
and this next question now, I'm thinking like it's probably not a complicated enough question. Because it sounds like it can be so different, but it doesn't sound like there would be a typical wedding charcuterie package. It sounds like every wedding's going to be different. Like you mentioned already, you've mentioned cups, you've mentioned centerpieces, boards, table, like there, it doesn't sound like there is like a
set in stone thing.
A set in stone, like.
I will say that I know other people do things differently. They just focus on spreads, or focus on doing boards and spreads, but I'm a very adaptable person, and I'm all for just, again, my goal is for you to have a beautiful experience with charcuterie. And so, I mean, he's seen me do a lot of different because he's always the one, like, I'll be doing the thing, like setting it all up, and he'll be handing me, I'll be like, I need the brie, and he's like, okay, here's the brie. You know? And so there's not a set in stone thing that you can do with charcuterie.
And it all depends on the person too, because everybody, whether they know it or not, everybody has a favorite cheese. If you ask them that question, they'll think about it for a minute and they'll go, oh, you know what? Yeah, I do. I do have one. And if you want more of that, we can, okay, well, we're going to cut one of these off. You don't like that one. We're going to add a lot more of this. And that's a way to make sure that we always customize it to whomever's eating it. And every bride, every groom is different.
That's why I always ask that first question is like, what is your vision of charcuterie? Like, what is the purpose for you?
What is the purpose?
Because
why do you want it? What's your idea? Because for everybody it's different. Like you said, people that are just like, someone told me I should do this. You're gonna have to help that person out a lot more because they don't have a vision versus the person who knows exactly what they want. I'm like, oh, I saw this.
Heck, I've even done like charcuterie skewers, like little skewers.
Never seen that.
Yeah, I'll have to send you a
photo.
But it was just like it was for a wedding that had a lot of dietary needs and restrictions, and so I was like, hey, let's just, because like she had a few family relatives that were deathly allergic to nuts, and she was asking for charcuterie cups in the beginning, and I was like, well, if you want the feel of charcuterie, we could do like charcuterie skewers. I could do like these beautiful charcuterie salami roses with basils and cheese, and that way it's like you still have that feel. You're feeding your guests, and if you're having like bar service or coffee service along with that, like that's going to be pretty filling for people. Because the goal again is to add to the aesthetic of your wedding and also get people fed.
Interesting.
And we want to make sure people stay safe. So if there are allergies, following the food safety rules and making sure that everything's separate. Different people handle different things on different sides. To make sure that we don't want to ever be the reason that somebody gets sick or hurt or has some sort of issue. That'd be the worst thing.
And also I make it cost effective. Like for example, they were also on a budget, and I said, well, hey, I know we could do like watermelon and cucumber tahine like skewers if you want, with like something. It's really good. And same like with the other one, you could add a little bit of balsamic. You still get the fun feeling of flavors and trying different things. You're always regardless of the budget trying to reach that wow factor. Instead of like maybe some people would have a different approach where like hey, it looks like this because the budget was low. I've had like, because you do get those calls of just like, hey, how much is this? And I'll tell, kind of give them a little rundown, and then I'll get the response of like, well, my aunt could like put out a couple veggie trays and it'll be cheaper. And I'm like, well,
she could. Go ahead.
Go for it. Go for it. If that's what you want.
That's the whole my friend is a DJ thing. Like,
props to him.
Great.
Props to
have him.
Awesome.
Save the money.
Good
luck.
If that's what you want. But again, like I prioritize, kind of meeting you in the middle of just like seeing where your budget is, and I'll direct you to, if you really, really want charcuterie to be a part of your wedding, I'll direct you to the right path.
Right. Yeah. No, that also, very much makes sense. This is an interesting question and I don't even know what this would look like or if you have an example, but do you ever do like, let's say, cultural touches, like specific to the couple's like maybe background, culture, ethnicity? Like, is there, have you ever done anything like that? Like, do you like,
I have had experience where like, for example, at his work, sometimes I'll do like charcuterie boxes or boards, but there's one person that doesn't eat meat. But does cheese, and so if that religion, like if they don't do meats, but only cheeses, I'll accommodate to that, and be like, hey, there's a lot of fun things we could do with cheese, and still have that wow effect.
Veggies,
and if you're vegetarian, there's a lot of things that you could go with. Like you could do like a nice, beautiful fruit and vegetable spread. If that's what they're asking me to do, I'll do it, and I could like, oh, do you want dips? If you want to include like, probably do like,
it's weird because I would have never, when I think of charcuterie, I would have never taking out the meat. Like I would be like, that's not charcuterie. That's what my opinion would be like. That's not like,
it's like, well,
but it's interesting because you would adapt and based on whatever, and you would still create a spread, even if we have to take, are there
certain elements
lactose intolerant? I don't know. Yeah, like okay.
And you could even add, I mean, with the vegetables and other stuff, I mean, that's what adds all the color.
Yeah.
That's what adds the pop, is putting in vegetables, putting in fruits, putting in little items that'll add pops of color here and there. And that's what turns it into the art.
Yeah, because I feel like right now there's someone that's going to watch us and they're going to be like, I wanted charcuterie, but I can't eat meat and I can't have cheese. And they're like, oh, you know, like this is like clicking for me. It's like, oh, I figure I'm sure there's a lot of people that didn't have wouldn't have charcuterie because of whatever it is that they're thinking of they can't have. This is very interesting.
Yeah. No,
that there's ways around that, and you could still have a pretty nice spread.
Yes, I will say, you know, it's crazy how, because it originated from, the word charcuterie originated from France, which is, you know, includes meat. But again, us Americans have Americanized it into a way that like you could just create anything and have it be a beautiful spread. So, that's what I do, is like, I'm very adaptable. If
this is really cool. Yeah.
If you have a vision, let me know. If you have a budget, like I have my 3 tiers. I have my price list and
change.
stuff. Yeah. And I feel like because everyone wants to have like a unique and different wedding, to be adaptable is very important, because everyone has a different vision.
Yeah. So, that's I like that. And I think you already mentioned it, but you were talking about like florals, like and then so it sounds like that's something that already automatically happens. Like you would work with the florist or the planners to like figure out, like you said, just figure out the theme, the colors, like and you would incorporate that into whatever it is you're doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Normally with like a spread, I like to lay out like some florals, a eucalyptus, and then do some parchment paper, and then create the spread from there, because that's like the foundation that ties it in with your wedding, is the florals.
Yeah.
And so I try to work out with the florist, if they're arranging the flowers there. I'll ask and say, hey, do you have any extra flowers? Or I'll ask the bride themselves and asking like, hey, what are your colors? Like, do you have your florals already purchased? If not, you know, would you want to order some extra flowers to match for the table? Or I'll include that in my my 3rd tier, because I have 3 different tiers. My 3rd tier of just like, I'll get the flowers myself.
You'll do it all.
Or a eucalyptus, something simple. Yeah. Because again, I want to be an addition to your wedding and add that wow factor.
Right. And then let's get into some of the challenges where people might think like, I can't have charcuterie. Like there's no way I want it, but I couldn't do it. So let's talk about people that are having those outdoor events like during the summer months or something like that. And it's an outdoor, meaning if there's nowhere to put it, do you have a way to deal with that? Like if people like want charcuterie, but it's going to be warmer. Like,
I would often ask and see if there's like a shaded area in their venue. If it's just strictly outdoor, like, is there any trees that you have or something? Or I'll try to accommodate, like we have, if they have umbrellas, or if I have, it's on a tarp.
Easy up.
See, he's the muscle, so he knows those words.
I'm the one that sets up the table and the easy up and gets it all right. Hey, if it works and it's simple,
and if they're okay with me to do that, you know, I'm a very adaptable person, but I would recommend, like, if you want charcuterie, because there's a time limit with food, especially with cheeses,
all of food.
And salami.
Well, even dinner service is that's why, you know, they have to know when you're planning on serving and stuff like that. All the food is always on. You know, that's what I think any food vendor is always worried about. Prepping too soon, sitting too long, all of those things. What would you say?
Sorry.
That's okay. Go ahead. It's you're okay. What would you say? In general, what is the range of what people are spending on charcuterie? Like what do those numbers look like?
Anything between, for spreads, I want to say like 15 to 30 per person, depending on how like luxurious you want it.
Yeah. 15.
But that's why I've developed the tier system.
Yeah.
Because you already have so much you're worrying about as a bride.
Yeah.
Sorry, my voice is a little.
No, I know.
Gosh, talking a lot. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not dying. I'm okay. But as a bride, you have so much to worry about. And so I try to simplify it for you so you don't have to worry about those things.
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair. And then we've talked about that. We've talked about budgets. We talked about scaling. Is there any like costs? Is there any hidden costs, or is there any costs like on top of what you're doing? Like, I'm assuming like, maybe sometimes there's delivery fees, or like, I don't know if there in your industry, there's a tear down. Like, is there anything like that people should ask about or plan on paying for? Or
well, with me, I do charge delivery because gas.
Of course, delivery. Yeah, delivery. Yep.
Yeah, delivery is a huge thing. But I try not to have any hidden costs.
Yeah,
I really make it a point to not have any hidden costs, because it's like, it sucks as a bride. You're like, okay, I budgeted this amount. I'm going to set this amount aside.
Right.
And then day of is like, oh, actually you owe us an extra $300 because we tore down, or and all this other things.
It happens.
And for the most part with us, when we do set up, I mean, for the Oktoberfest one, we'll lay down, they provide the table, we lay down a parchment paper to protect the food. We put all the food up, and then, hey, there's one centerpiece that we provide typically. We'll head out, give us a call whenever you're ready to
Yeah.
the centerpiece.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We'll work with you guys. We're not trying to be like, okay, we're going to stay here. For the most part, we set up and leave.
Yeah. Right.
And if it's not something we're comfortable leaving there, then we probably won't. We won't put it out.
Yeah.
And so for the most part, if it's something that, you know, we know the couples, we tend to try to learn as much as we can about the people.
Mm-hmm.
So that way we can know, okay, we can leave this here. We'll get it back.
Yeah.
It's not that big of a deal.
What I do is I use bamboo. I use a lot of bamboo made products, which are bowls, boards, or bowls and boards, or like little tiny little things. To hold the stuff. And so it's all of it is pretty much, you're able to just throw it away.
Yeah.
So it makes it easy for both
But looks
of us.
Nice.
It looks nice. It
It's
looks
not,
aesthetically
it's
pleasing.
cost friendly.
It is cost friendly. And I include that in my pricing. So yeah, it just makes it easier for the both of us, because I can't just like stand there twiddling my thumbs and watch everyone.
Yeah, no. That doesn't make sense. But yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're
recovering.
Would you like me to
It's
go
a lot.
some more water?
Yeah, drink some more water. Go ahead.
I think I'm running a little low. I'm almost out of
Okay.
water.
Sorry.
That's all right.
No,
We're
it's
fine.
okay.
We're fine.
We're okay.
We're
I
almost.
just needed a second.
We're almost done. We're almost there. Anyways, this is much shorter than the previous episode.
No, it's totally fine.
No worries.
And then, are there like, is there such thing as like charcuterie trends like right now? Is there like stuff that, like, is there like popular things or anything like that?
The cutting of cheeses, like how you cut the cheese, is there's always like new trends and different ways
On
of
how
like
you
what-
cut the
Yeah.
how we cut
How
the
you
cheese.
prepare
Yeah,
things and
that's
how
pretty
you,
funny.
how you present things. She'll actually
Yeah.
we'll be sitting down and watching a show or something, and she'll be looking through her Instagram, TikTok, whatever socials, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And she'll go, "Oh, this is a cool new idea. Like, we should
Yeah.
try this, or we should, it's
Yeah.
constantly evolving."
Yeah, because you could make roses with strawberries, which I'm still trying to master that.
What is going on right now?
That's all her. Let me
Yeah,
be
yeah.
clear. When it
Yeah,
comes
no,
to the
there's
preparing and
so
the
many
artistry, this is
different
all this woman.
ideas out there, and I feel like charcuterie is definitely an art form, and everyone has a different style.
Yeah.
You know, you may like the idea of charcuterie, and you but you look at my stuff, and my stuff may not speak to you. It's
Yeah.
like a portrait pretty much,
Yeah.
but with food.
Yeah.
But you find someone else and you're like, oh, I love that their style. You know, that's if you're really into charcuterie.
Yeah,
you know?
no, I feel like a lot of it is pretty standard.
Mhm.
I don't like
Yeah.
the amount of creativity you're talking about right now is very different than how I expected this to go, or this conversation, because I didn't like, I don't know. These are just things I never considered. And I would assume most people who like maybe are getting charcuterie for the first time, or like you said, because someone told them, I mean, it's just like, I mean, this is not, it's, you know, in my mind, it's just a board. It's just a table, but now there's all these other options. It's interesting.
Yeah.
A lot of people, the perception for most people is the board that you can get from Ralph's or your typical grocery store
Or Sam's Club.
that has a couple of crackers, a couple of cheeses, a couple of meats in a round dish with a plastic top. That's what a lot of people see as, okay, that's a charcuterie. I can go grab that really quickly.
Yeah.
Not realizing there's a whole area of where we specialize in making sure that it's a custom,
making it
whatever
decorative.
cheese you want, whatever everybody, everybody's got favorites. Whatever you need, let's make it happen for you guys.
Yeah.
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 100%.
But it's literally like art, like you said, like strawberry roses and all these things like
salami roses and cheese roses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not as simple as you said, like just grabbing a tray and dumping it on, you know, or opening it up, peeling off the plastic.
No,
like, that gets the job done, but it's not going to be anything close to, you know, what you do or the display. And then, this is like, we're literally at the last couple questions.
Yeah.
So, what is like for a couple that's thinking about doing charcuterie for their wedding, what would be your advice for them?
I think factoring like what your guests can eat is a big one. Being aware of their allergies.
Yeah.
Before you call someone, so that way that they could be aware, whoever's preparing,
right?
Being aware of food allergies, also being aware of like where you want it, because let's say the weather, you cannot control weather. That's something that you don't know what's going to happen. It could be raining. Like I would recommend to make sure that wherever you have your charcuterie, make sure it has like a covered space. Yeah, and just and also have your purpose in mind, and your guest count, a rough estimate, and just your favorite. Again, think of what you want your guests to experience.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna go backwards a little bit because I do have one question, like, and I did this in the catering episode too. So I just want to go back to the 15 to 30 per person.
Yeah.
This is the thing about like in every single industry within wedding vendors and stuff like it, with all the individual vendors and their specific industries. One thing I like to find out for the audience is that $30 cap. Like if someone's looking at charcuterie and someone's coming to them and be like, it's gonna be 60 a person.
Yeah.
Like that's it. Like that, like, okay. So it's not to say that those people are necessarily scamming or taking advantage, but then sometimes they are.
Yeah.
Because they're overpricing it and they're trying to take advantage and they're, maybe, you know, but so let's just say if I have all the money in the world and I'm just going to this person and I'm just gonna, you know, if someone is charging like double what you're, you know, like what would that look like, or how should that experience be and different? Like if like what, you know what I mean? Like what are you getting? Like, so for instance, I'm just giving you an example, or the catering guy, he said like, if someone's charging more than $65 a plate for like a steak plated dinner, he's like, then you bet like there has to be something enhanced in the experience, or how it's being plated, or what they're using for, you know, like, because you know, meat is meat, you know, like the cut is the cut, the prime is prime, like, so he's like, if you're charging more, he's like, if you start getting up like to 85 and above, like I would start asking questions like, why are you charging so much?
Yeah, no, I definitely would start asking questions of why you're charging $60 per person when it comes to charcuterie, because being, you know, a charcuterie business owner, I see the background prices.
Yeah.
I see how much like I always get good quality items.
Right.
And if they're charging $60 per person, it better be some very fine cheese.
That's the only way, right?
Imported straight from Italy that day.
That's the only way you would want to.
Including like a chocolate fondue fountain or something, just like.
There may even be, if they have like an alcohol license and they're serving and pairing particular wines, but that gets into sommelier range, which I have seen before. But that's a whole different.
That's different. Sommelier is different.
That's a sommelier.
When you have a sommelier,
cheeses and calling it charcuterie.
Yeah.
And that's not exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
So be clear and distinct on what that idea for you is.
Yeah.
Yeah. It definitely.
Because what I'm getting to is, it sounds like people in general, like, if like that, because I know you're a very honest and good person, and like and you're you really want to give people an experience and be fair about it. I know that about you.
Yeah.
And so it's like, that's why I have this podcast, because I want to protect people from these things, because I feel like if they go to someone and they start getting above that, like 30. So basically, if someone goes and like they say how many guests, and they don't say this is how, they should just, like, if they divide the number and they figure out they're paying more than 30 a person, then it's like, what am I?
Yeah.
It's like, you have to ask, like, what am I paying for?
Even
like what?
35, I could see 35 being like 35. 40 is pushing it. I think
that's with very high end, high quality.
So so at that price range, you better be getting that. If it's beyond that, then it's
you
like,
what other additional
what is it? What's making this what's making this so special that you're going to charge me more than that?
Because I remember while I was starting my business, we like went to a restaurant. It was the same friend, and we got charcuterie, and they were like charging $40 for like this like tiny little thing, and I'm just I can make this cheaper and make it like affordable.
You go to a winery,
and
they have a charcuterie board. You're just like 65, 85 bucks.
You're paying for the brand.
You're paying because you're there.
You're paying their profit margin.
Yeah,
is what it is. That's all it is at that point.
Yeah.
And with us, we don't need. No. We have fairly. We do well. Like, it's not that big of a deal.
We're very thankful because this is my charcuterie business, but I would love for it to even grow further. I mean, I've been flown out to out of state to do weddings, but again, I'm very honest with my pricing,
right?
And my prices may change because food is expensive.
Yeah,
where we source things, I try to source them, as great as possible. Yeah. So that way you have the richness of what charcuterie is and the experience, but not hurting your pocket.
Yeah. Because all the vendors I bring on the show, it's the one thing I really want to establish for people is because all the vendors I bring in, they're not overcharging. They're charging what they need to make the profit they need to, and they're not like, they're not excessive. Because when I hear people paying for a certain, like, when someone comes to me and like when I see online, like, oh, my DJ was $5,000 and I'm like 8,000, 7,000. I'm like, I hope you got a lot of extra stuff, because that's a lot of money. You know what I mean? Like, I'm very fairly priced, and it's like, and so when I see numbers and brides talking about what they paid for things, like immediately in my mind, I'm like, what they spent on florals? I'm like, what did you get? Like, what did you get for that? Like, what was it?
Also, attention.
Were they made out of gold? Like,
like like were there oh my gosh, were there gold flakes in the cheese?
Like,
no, because I think also not to like throw shade on other businesses, but if you're like charging people a certain amount, I mean, with my business, I really want to give you that kind of attention. That's why it's like so important for me to get to know you in the process of like, what are your likes and dislikes? I mean, when you ordered your charcuterie box for me, I asked you a lot of questions.
No, there was a lot of questions. Didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
I was just like, just give me the box.
Just give me the box.
Like, I'll take the box.
I would like to eat. That's all I'm thinking about right now.
Some people don't like.
I like the meat and the cheese in the box.
In the box with some strawberries and maybe a couple grapes. Thank you. But like, some people don't like goat cheese, and so I'm like, what do you want? Like, make sure, let me.
No, so let's talk about this little box here,
my little,
which is like a smaller version of what I ordered for my wife that you delivered, and worked out so amazing. And just so everybody knows, it's in the previous episode. Yes. But Kalana, I had her surprise my wife with a bigger personal charcuterie box while she was getting makeup and hair done. And it, as we talked about previously as well, a lot of brides don't eat, they're not going to eat, and they just make that decision. And so my wife was going to do the same thing. She was going to fast all the way until meal service, but thank God Kalana came at just the right time. And then my wife after said how amazing it was, because she was starting to feel like low energy, and it worked out just perfect. And this is just a little box she brought as a gift here for me, and just, you know, it's amazing. She's got the little, I think this is really cute, the little fork and spoon. Yeah. And then she brought a box of crackers, a few different kinds. And so this is the kind of product she delivers. And the reason why I want to show you guys is because it's just in that box you brought for my wife, there was more things than I expected. Like there was chocolates, like a little bit of chocolate, and it's like I didn't even ask for that. Mm-hmm. I didn't really know, because I didn't ask enough questions. Like, you know, it's like, again, you just think like, just give me the box, like, you know. But there's like some cookies in here. I mean, you could tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, definitely. With this box,
I'll let you hold it. You can kind of talk about it.
This is my personal box. It's meant for 1 to 2 people, so it's like perfect for a date night. This is $25. That's not including what's it called? Oh my goodness, including delivery. Thank you.
Yeah, right. Just if you were to,
but I include about 3 different cheeses and 2 to 3 different types of meats in here, so you could have a fun pairing. So I have some strawberries, some grapes, and then cheese roes made out of
cheese roes. That's incredible.
Provolone. And then I have some spicy salamis here, 2 different kinds, and then also a Toscano cheese, which is my personal favorite.
Okay,
Toscano is great if you pair it. It's like a creamy and rich, dense.
What was this guy back here in the back?
This is honey goat cheese.
Honey goat cheese
with apricot spread.
Apricot spread.
Yeah, wow. Apricot spread.
That sounds amazing.
A bit of a fall theme in here. And then I sprinkled some variations of nuts like cashews and almonds with some chocolate.
Yeah, I saw that
in there. And it's just like a fun little mix. So I try to put things that I know are going to taste good together.
The pairings.
Together. So that way, because subconsciously you're going to grab whatever is
a lot of thought put in even to this little box.
Yes. Yeah. And so I also include like a little spoon and fork, so you could like scoop on whatever. Right. And then like the little crackers are just for something sweet. This is more geared towards fall, but I do other themes such as like Valentine's Day, Christmas, or even just a basic charcuterie. If you don't want cookies, I could just put more cheese or meat.
Right.
Yeah. But
no, thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. I hope you enjoy
I didn't get to have any. I didn't get to have any of the box that came to the vow renewal. So I got not even one bite. Not even
one bite.
It looked amazing though.
Yeah, I'm glad you. But this box is often what I include if bride and groom were to book with me. I like to do like a little sample box, sample box, so that way I let like one of the bridesmaids know, or I'll ask where they want it, and they could take it with them on their honeymoon. So it's like a nice little personal touch, because like you're paying all this money, and then this is something I just throw in for free as like a gift.
Yeah, they get to enjoy, because there's a large chance, and I've seen it, where by the time they get to the reception room, that table's done. Yeah. It's gone. And they don't get to sample everything, all that you put in there for them. And so this is really cool.
Thank you.
This is really cool. All right. So at the end here, what I always like to do is I want to just, if you have any final thoughts, if there's something I haven't asked you about, something you want to mention, or if you think there's any more good advice to give people when it comes to hiring, booking, finding a charcuterie person, do you have any last thoughts on that? Like,
I think with charcuterie and just looking into vendors in general, just because they're a smaller business does not mean that they're not a great person to book with. You know, I have 3 years of experience, but I have a lot of reoccurring clients, and I've also personally have booked with smaller businesses, and they, were great. And that's something, one piece of advice is, just because they're a smaller business doesn't mean that their work ethic is any less.
Right. Or that they can't handle or scale or whatever it is. Right.
Yeah. No, definitely.
And always make sure that whatever you're getting is right for you, because honestly, that there are times, and I don't ever want to, say that we're not the best for you, because we are, in my opinion.
Sure.
But if we're not for you, that's okay.
Yeah, I'm the same.
There's always other people who are going to be lower end or higher end, and whatever fits best for what you have at your wedding. Don't feel pressured into picking something that, I don't really know, I'm not really sure. When we were going through with our wedding, and I'm sure we've talked about it the last time we were here, but there's definitely times where it was like, hey, this is a bit more than we were thinking, but we really want this, versus, hey, this really doesn't mean that much to us.
Yeah.
We don't need this.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, always make sure that whatever you're doing, it's going to be what's for you.
Yeah.
Not just your guest. It
Right.
can be for you guys too.
Yeah.
It's what you want.
No, it's good advice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, definitely. I think those are our 2 key points.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So let's do this. Let's go back through. Let's give everybody the socials one more time. So it's @ Made by K.
K.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And that'll be in the description for everybody.
Yes.
And it's the same handle on TikTok and Instagram, right?
TikTok is rare in this world, 28 right now. That's because on there I also post my postpartum doula
so it's
stuff.
different.
So it has a variation of other services that I provide.
You do?
But
okay.
Solely if you're looking into just charcuterie, go to Instagram.
Okay.
And I also have a Yelp page.
Okay. So we'll put that up, and then I'll put that up in the description for everybody if you want to find Made by K. And you already heard, she's destination will travel, so she'll come to you, which is incredible, because I would never have imagined that charcuterie would be a destination thing. Like that's also like
to different states.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, that's crazy.
Honestly,
got that opportunity. It was,
but but how amazing is that for you that like your services are so. I mean, that speaks to your services that they're so good that somebody was willing to do that. So that's like a huge. I mean, I think that's a huge compliment to yourself and what you do, and how you care for your services. So that's amazing. Actually, that I didn't expect that. So never would have thought that. But she can travel, guys. So wherever you need her, she'll be there. So we'll put that description there. We want to thank you guys for being here. For the second episode, another episode, and sharing all about charcuterie. And just diving a little deeper into that, you've opened my eyes to new ideas in your industry. Again, I always learn so much from these things. It's like I think I know so much, and then I'm like humbled all the time. Like okay, like meatless spreads. Like I mean, if you have vegetarians, that'd be cool, man. Like if you had a bunch of vegetarians, that'd be cool. It's just you're making my mind work and think differently about this, because again, it's some of these some vendors, like from my perspective as a wedding DJ, it just seems so simple, and so far I've learned it's never simple. Nothing is as simple as it seems. So thank you guys for being on both shows and both episodes.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing all your knowledge. We really appreciate it, and I know the audience someone's going to find this extremely useful. So I hope to stay in touch. I'll plan on using your services more often as I can. It was a great experience the first time, and you were just so kind. And I'm just going to say this, like, one thing I loved about working with you is one thing that doesn't always work out, because we've had, when we do small stuff, I'll reach out to people and they'll just be like, it's not worth my time. Like, this is too small of an order. Like, I have a minimum order. You got to spend at least this much. And that wasn't you. Like, I literally ordered just a personal share box for my wife. And there was you didn't question it. You're like, I'll do it. There's going to be a delivery fee. And I'm like, that's fine. But I also did give you an out to say, I did tell you, I said, hey, I understand if you have a minimum, but I just want to say that was really good quality service, to not shut me down and be like, it's not worth my time. Like, because there are vendors that are like that. That'll be like, no, it's just not. If that's your budget, it's not worth it. Like, it's not worth my time. No.
So
that was, I really appreciate about
of course.
that about you.
I appreciated being a part of the surprise.
Yeah.
It was such a sweet and endearing thought. And I appreciated being a part of it.
Yeah. So she is great, guys. Please reach out to her. Follow her on Instagram. Again, that'll be the direct link to her Instagram will be in the description, at least on YouTube and Spotify. I don't know about the other, if they can, I don't know if they can click on the links or anything, but the descriptions are there too. So please subscribe. Come back for more what I wish you knew about your wedding content, and watch some other episodes and learn about your wedding day. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys one more time for being here.
Thank
you for having us.
Thank you guys.
Us.
All right.